from a report which is published by iResearch. So I'm going to share with you some of the key insights that I found interesting. So when we talk about the F&B brands and when we talk about the advertising, so here is the overview of the key advertising strategies used by these brands. So as we can see, like there are three major formats. So one is the advertising, like paid advertising, display ad. Second is product placement on TV shows. And then the third one is KOL promotion. So I'm just going to go through each of these one by one. First of all, just a quick overview of the market. As we all know that the COVID pandemic hit China last year. And when we look at the numbers of how brands they invest in advertising, oh, by the way, these numbers, they are not the exact amount of advertising budget that these brands they invest in advertising, but they're just the index, which tells you like how much they are investing. So it's just for comparison. So last year, we can see that there is a drop in terms of investment in advertising. And then the reason is clear because of COVID. And then for this year, when we look at the numbers in the Q1, and we can see that the investment in advertising by these F&B brands, it is already kind of the same as that in 2019. And we are expecting that this will soon be recovered in the upcoming few months, for example, in Q2 and Q3. So the market now is kind of ready for these brands. And when we look into the investment in advertising by product categories, we can see that here's the trend in last year. For food and alcohol brands, we can see that their investment is kind of evenly distributed throughout the years, but of course there are some peaks, and these peaks they represent their special occasions for promotion and for advertising. For example, in May there is the Labor holiday, the Labor Day, and then in November, so there is the Single Day, the Double 11 shopping festival, and then in January there is the Spring Festival. So we can see that, yeah, as I mentioned, for food and alcohol brands, their advertising investment is kind of evenly distributed throughout the year. But for beverage, we can see that there is an obvious peak from May to October. So can you guys guess the reason why they put a lot? Oh yeah.
Jacqueline shouting, summer, summer.
Yeah, exactly. It's summertime, so people they drink more, obviously. So that's why these beverage brands they invest more during this time from May to October, usually.
Maureen has a question. This is only for China.
I couldn't quite hear the question.
Is it just for China?
Yeah. This is just for China.
Yeah.
And when we talk about
yes, go ahead, Mason.
Yeah, and when we talk about the advertising format, so the report also summarized the three most popular advertising format that are used by these F&B brands in mainland China. So they are the pre-rolled ads, they are the full screen ads, as well as the banner ads. So we can see that these F&B brands, they kind of use this kind of dominant advertising method. So when we talk about advertising, so there are two major types. So one is dominant, and then the other one is recessive. For dominant ones, pre-roll ad is one of the good examples. It means that, for example, if you watch a video, then there will be, for example, like 5 seconds of advertising before that video. So for this kind of advertising, we call them the pre-rolled ad. So it applies to YouTube. For example, on YouTube, then it's 5 seconds. But I think in mainland China, like for those video websites in mainland China, they're much longer. So I think they're at least 15 seconds. So for this, yes, yeah, exactly. video ad 贴片广告。
贴片就是前贴，但是现在中国它的贴片它跟那个剧是做的一样的，就是它还是找那群人去演一个小剧场这样子，它做的非常的生动，然后有的时候贴片比那个正剧还有趣，我觉得做的蛮有趣的。
Yeah, exactly. So we can see that like this kind of pre-roll ads, they are really widely used by the F&B brands, while the full screen ad as well as the banner ad, the frequency is increasing. And when we talk about the key elements in the ad, so I just quickly go through it because they are kind of obvious. So the 4 key elements that we can usually find in this ad is, first of all, if these brands, they collaborate with celebrities, then they feature the celebrities on their ad. For example, for those baby formula, then they usually collaborate with those Chinese celebrity moms. And then for those like carbonated drinks, then they tend to use those young celebrities, which kind of have the young vibe to represent their image. And then the second one is the brand slogan. So for brands that have these slogans, then they also try to incorporate this slogan on their ads. For example, like if they have a campaign just like Jack Daniels, they have the Make It Count campaign, then they can also like incorporate this slogan and make them as like an obvious element on the ad. And then the third one is about advocating the healthy lifestyle. So as we all know that Chinese consumers, they have the increasing awareness in terms of achieving a healthy lifestyle. So a lot of brands, they also pay a lot of attention to it. For example, one of this is actually, I think, is one of the competitors of Almond Breeze. So it is one of the sub-brand under Vitasoy. So they also actively they use this kind of like healthy related keywords on their ad. And last but not least is the highlighting the special making process. So if your products, they are made by some special like ingredients or manufacturing process, then they can also highlight it on the ad. So this is about advertising. And then the second part is about product placement on TV show, but I'm not going to go through it in detail because I know that most of our clients, they don't really have the budget to sponsor the TV show, but we can see that from 2018 to just 2020, there are an increasing number of brands like food and beverage brands, they sponsor these TV shows, and these TV shows can be in different formats. So it can be like competition between celebrities. It can be, for example, reality TV show, and then it can also be some of game related shows. So this is about the product placement on TV shows. And the third one is KOL collaboration. And there's one interesting finding here is that because for this food and beverage products, they have the property of the FMCG, so they can be regarded as fast-moving consumer goods. So basically, like all consumers can be the end users. So at one point, it's good because when they are choosing this KOLs for promotion, then basically they can choose all kinds of KOL because if they are popular, then they must have their audience base that would potentially use their products. But at the same time, it also requires the brand to have a more thought through strategy in terms of liaising different types of KOLs at the same time in order to represent their brand image. For example, here we can see that actually not only the food bloggers, they are good in terms of promoting this food and beverage products, but also the beauty bloggers. I don't know why. For example, here is
they are on trend. They are trendy. They communicate lifestyle and
yeah, so it's kind of interesting. So for example, like Haiti, they also cooperate with this KOL on Red, and for example, they launch a new product, and they also invite this KOL to like create a new look to represent this product. So I think one of the advantage of liaising beauty blogger is that they can help these products to build up an image that is good for the brand. So yeah, this is quite interesting. And then when we talk about the different formats for KOL collaboration, so these are some creative ways that brands have been utilized. For example, I think that there are more and more brands, they utilize KOL and then they invite them to, for example, to their manufacturing place, so that this KOL, they can talk about the whole manufacturing process of this product. So this is one of the example. And then the second one is what we are doing for our Jack Daniels, is to creating some special ways of usage and basically to create like more usage scenarios. So this one is a spirit brand that they also create some sort of cocktail guides for their target audience. And the third one is, I think it is also very interesting, and I personally like it a lot, is the in-depth product review and analysis. So a lot of these brands, they invite the related KOLs on, for example, Kuaishou and Bilibili, and these KOLs, they will do videos that so in this video, they will like have an in-depth analysis of this product. So yeah, they are both interesting and educational at the same time. And then, for example, we all know that Moonbak Show is also kind of popular in the Asian content. So these brands, they can also invite these Moonbakers in order to feature their products in the Moonbak Show. And last but not least,
it's not allowed anymore. It's forbidden. It's forbidden by now.
Yeah, I think like this is also like one of the controversial like KOL promotion format, because for example in Korea, I know that for this Moonbaker, they need to really like before the video, they need to specify that they are collaborating with these brands. So yeah.
Yeah. And in China, actually, right now, yeah, it's not okay. It's not allowed, and even drinking, because they were also binge drinking, quite a lot of people, in order to make themselves popular. And right now, that has also been looked after. So essentially, you cannot drink just some random stuff like Coca-Cola. I'm gonna drink like 10 bottles of Coke or something. So it's all becoming much more complicated, and we would highly not recommend brands to work with some bloggers. Yeah, in China now.
Anyway, so the last format is because as I mentioned before, like these brands, basically they can target like all sort of consumer, like different target groups. So that's why for them, they can also tap into different cultural circles. For example, for this one, the Genki Forest, I think they are like a brand that feature low sugar or no sugar drinks. So for example, they cooperated with this like journaling bloggers such as Susie, but no, not Susie in this case. So like this kind of bloggers in their collaboration. And yeah, pretty much that's the thing that I would like to talk about. And last but not least, like this is a bonus slide. I think for this brand, like on top of promotion, I think what they really need to pay attention to is actually the product itself. And when I talk about the products, I think product package plays a really important role in attracting consumers' attention, especially the new consumers. So for example, they should pay attention to style. They should pay attention to like using some special size and shapes as well as materials. Nowadays, I think many of brands, they also use this kind of eco-friendly materials and feature them in their packaging. So not just promotion, but I think product design is also a very important part of the success. It's a key to success. So yeah. Pretty much.
Well done, Nathan. Thank you so much. Any insights onto F&B marketing? Anybody else has something to add or some cases, examples? F&B marketing in China?
I know that there is a recent positive news is about Dunkin' Forest, because when Jacqueline and I was doing the consulting, it's now the expert call is Coca-Cola. They're
Yeah.
very interested in this brand, Dunkin' Forest. I think they're one of the most popular, like the drink, the beverage brand in China in the past few years, because it was promoted as zero sugar and zero calories, but at the same time it also has great taste. So a lot of people and also want to go to see the TV series. A lot of TV series were sponsored by this brand, but actually just I think for last week,
Yes.
there is a really big punishment on it, because it's that it is not really zero sugar. It's just like zero one kind of sugar. 就是他们说的是零蔗糖。So this is totally like a fake promotion. So it has, I know that a lot of like stores and even convenience stores or the big shopping malls are removing the products from the
misrepresenting. It's about misrepresenting. Zero sugar, zero